We go to the Insider Hotline. Our good buddy, Jamie McLennan from TSN joins us. Hello, Noodles.
How you doing?
Do you want me to send you my longevity podcast I was listening to today?
No, I don't want to. I take this stuff by Brian Johnson, that longevity.
Yeah. Mix. Oh, so you're taking your kid's blood and doing an infusion?
Why would I do that?
That's what Brian Johnson does.
Oh boy. No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. Look into it. Yes, he 100% does. Do you have the hyperbaric that he has?
No, you know Very what I have? The $90 powder that I put into my protein shake. That's it. It's got a little creatine. It's got a little stuff in it. It's good. I don't need it. I don't need any, like, what is that? Beef tallow on people's faces and stuff like that. Like,
oh, yeah, that's good stuff.
Father Time is chasing everybody. It's undefeated. So.
Oh, but that's what this guy's saying. David Sclair, Harvard professor, they've coming up. They're going to give you antibiotics. You're going to reverse your age by 20 years.
How young you want to get?
Pinder.
How young?
I'm sending it to you. You listen. You got time.
Outside of throwing a shave in today, I think I look all right. You know,
you do.
You're not bad for.
I do 60. Need a favor though. Our people at Cove need to send me some because I can't find it out here.
I'll make a note of it.
What?
I'm grinding it. Like usually I can buy it at Costco. Usually I can buy it at Costco.
Yes.
It's not Costco, and it's something's up. I don't know what's up.
Well, you're out here next week. Is that right?
I am. I'm out there.
We'll load you up with Coves.
Yeah, it's stuff to get on the plane.
I'll send it to your house. I'm going to find some Coves. I'm going to take care of my buddy Noodles. He takes care of me all the time.
Yes, I'm out there next week. I think we go. Oh, you know what? I'm really in town very short because.
Oh, you don't want to buy me
cheese toast? Yeah, tough.
No, the Wednesday night we got to look at that for sure. Because the Thursday I have to take the red eye back because it's it's trade deadline Friday. So
they want you in studio.
I'm going to be in studio for 8 a.m. So I've got the Ottawa-Calgary game, whatever, 7 till 10, whatever that is. And I'm on 11:50 out overnight.
Can I just say something to you? And I know you won't take us up on it. You're more than welcome to use our studio. If you don't want to travel. For that day, if you, instead of being... Center. Instead of flying all the way back, you can set up right in here.
You too could have a bottle of rum over your shoulder.
Drinking rum in the background and, rum and Cove, rum and Orange Cove.
Old Ronnie boy here. This guy's an everyday hero. He's a firefighter, and we had a drunk loser in Prince Albert trying to steal some booze from behind the shelf in the bar we were at, and Ronnie just slapped that bottle right out of his hands and just get the hell out of here.
Ronnie boy rum, is that where we're dealing with?
Yeah, if you look
old Ronnie boy, Firehouse Spice Drum Jack, you got to put the camera on me so people can see it.
If you look closely, it's got the Captain Morgan top on it, so I wonder if maybe they just
copyright
slap the label on a bottle, but nonetheless,
we wouldn't do that.
Exactly.
Nonetheless.
Either way, it's good. It looks good.
I saw a clip. Old Hazy B there on your show. He was the partying these Americans are doing is a little excessive. It's getting a little out of hand.
I think I'm fine with it. Listen. We were joking. Like O-Dog was like, "Oh, you got better get back." I said, "Any one of you guys won, including Jeff O'Neill in his heyday." He was the equivalent of the guy in the middle there. Rhett Warner would go missing for 2 weeks if he won a Stanley Cup or if he won a gold medal.
I don't know. I'm okay with do what you want. You win. You've earned the right. But there's a season still going on.
Agreed.
And
agreed.
Some of the shit talking, it feels like it's very subtle. Again, I'm bent out of shape. Do I sit up at night? No. But there's a winning with class. Like there's a Sidney Crosby moment where you could just
Wayne, Mario.
Yeah.
Listen, there's guys, there's so many examples of how people win with humility. Yeah. They win with all different things. You know what though? Like I don't get mad at people for celebrating, a win and doing things that maybe viewed at it. I hate the political stuff. Just let people win and enjoy. We had Jeremy Roenick on our show yesterday. I thought he was excellent. He said, "You know what? I've been the guy in the silver medal sitting there hanging around my neck." And he goes, "I don't think the better team won, but the better goalie did." Yep. And it's fair to say. At the end of I don't think we need a hockey summit. I don't think we need things, but at the end of the day, I would like to see, maybe this is just me, like this one stings. Pride in our country. Like I would like to see that. Those guys are showing pride in their country. I would like to see, not that we don't have it. I want to be careful with my words. I'm not saying we don't have it, but I would like to see a little bit of, what, next one's ours. And, we can't wait to get there type, little attitude, a little swagger. Cause listen, that I woke up Monday morning a little bit sad. I'll be honest, just a little bit, like just a little shine off, like, cause whatever is going on in the world, I've always felt like, okay, hockey's been ours type of thing. And that goes for the women's too. Like this isn't just, it's the men and the women. They did a great job, but unfortunately they both came home with silver medals. Next time around, I'm going to be rooting them to get gold. And I've got friends on both sides of the coin. I will see Brady Tkachuk tomorrow, and I will congratulate him on winning a gold and how hard they played and all of that. And Jake Sanderson and all the people. But getting back to the partying and all that, no problem with that. But, there's guys that make 10, 11, 12, 14 million dollars for their club team that are dying to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So you better shake the hangover as quick as possible because they are relying on you to start playing tonight and tomorrow and into the weekend. And 25 games in 50 days? Is that what we're pretty much dealing with? For
crazy. I think most teams are over a game every other day for the month of March. Like the Flames are 16. I saw Washington was 17. Like it's wild how many times you're going to play in 30 days here, 31 days.
So at the end of the day, you voted to go, which, the players wanted to go. But I'm going to be consistent with my comments. I think the product in the NHL has been very suspect this year.
Yep.
As far
because
as
of the schedule.
Right? Because of the schedule. You think it's going to get easier down the stretch? Nope. You just pointed out, Pinder. So, I think next time around, if there's a learning curve, start a little bit earlier and a little bit later. Make sure that the schedule and the product that you are charging millions of dollars for and getting paid millions of dollars for doesn't suffer because of 1-2 week, Olympic event.
Already, we've heard none of the Americans on Vegas are going to play. So that's Hannafin, Eichel, maybe others. The Canadiens are question mark. That's your Stone, Theodore, Marner. Yeah. That's just one team playing tonight. Hellebuck's not going to go in net. Comrie, the backup's going to be in for the Jets tonight. That's already confirmed. I wonder how closely Gary, the PA owners are watching how guys get treated because you can make the case. The best thing for Connor McDavid might be to just take a couple days.
I thought he was.
Well, I don't know. I haven't heard any official reports about who's playing or not.
I talked to somebody yesterday there thought he would play.
So again, we're waiting to see what happens here, but there's going to be a big takeaway here because the owners are like, listen, I'm paying you, like let's say it's Kaprizov, 17.5. I know they weren't there, but like I'm not paying you 7.5, take days off because you partied too hard.
Right.
If it was Russia for that example, but how do you see this playing out tonight? Because there are going to be guys that get healthy.
A good example.
I am concerned though, because you're right. Like this was not planned. Planned well is the wrong word because they overthink everything. But this may not end well because a lot of these guys are still on, their body clocks are still on Italy time. So, for example, McDavid, that's 9 hours difference in Anaheim type of thing. Name me a player, all the Vegas guys, all the guys coming back. Their body clocks are going to be screwed up. And whether they partied, not partied, and they show up, what if within the first game or two they get hurt because their body's still settling back in? And that's the biggest challenge is you want to protect your assets. So I thought about it. It might be better served to allow, like what Vegas is doing, going, you're not even
100%, and they 100.
Even though we're in a playoff battle, at the end of the day, we want to invest in the player to make sure they're ready, body clock, timing, everything to step on the ice, and they're comfortable to do it instead of force feeding it. And they're still not sleeping well, the time change, jet lag, all of that. I mean, Austin Matthews, I'll give you an example. Like, by all accounts, he ducked out early yesterday, flew down to Florida, going to play tonight. They play 3 games in 4 nights in 3 different cities. And they're in a playoff race. They're 6 points out with about
it's the bubble teams it's biggest for.
Right. And that's this guy's expected because he's the captain of Toronto Maple Leafs and just captained a gold medal team. He's going to have to land and be the 70-goal scorer, not the guy that we saw at the Olympics who played really well defensively, but it was, Jack Eichel was really good. All the other players were good too. So at the end of the day, I am concerned that we will see a guy come back and ram themselves into the lineup and maybe their body gives out.
This all goes back to a very simple fix. And you organize the season differently. They should be another day or two in between. The guys that had the break start the season earlier. You shouldn't be jamming this many games into that compressed schedule. The guys that didn't play in the Olympics, they don't have to start their break immediately. Make them practice for 2 days on the other half because they don't need a week of practice this week.
Right.
And then give 2 more days off to the guys that were in the Olympics. Mandatory.
Yeah.
And sort of like we're talking about things that are achievable and then you don't have to leave it up to teams to make their own decisions on it because those bubble teams, and you're right, and it's nice for us to be able to have a debate about kind of and just conversation. What's right? Do I need him back tonight? Or am I better off letting him rest, get settled, and having him better in a month? Like
I think even a team that's battling for the playoffs, what are you going to get? The first game, you might get adrenaline. What about the back-to-back game? I'm just talking maybe Austin.
Yeah.
You might get adrenaline today, and then back-to-back tomorrow. They go Tampa, Florida, and Ottawa on Saturday back home.
And Ottawa's a huge game.
I don't know if you guys remember, like they came back from Four Nations and Connor was off for it felt like 1 to 2 weeks. And that wasn't a different time zone. And that was a way short. They didn't play 6 games in that tournament.
They won on a Thursday night. He played Saturday at noon
in
Philadelphia.
Dumb.
And like I would have said, don't even fly there. Meet us in the next city. They were on a 5-game swing or something like that. And
that was a 4-game tournament. 4.
Yeah.
In the same time zone.
This is 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And 8 hours from you guys, 6 from me ahead. And McDavid went there a day early because he wanted to acclimate. And now he's flying all the way back to Anaheim, which is 9 hours behind Italy. Again, I'm sure these guys, they're pros. They know how to play. But I'm looking at the investment as to what's best for this person. Like we'll call it sports science. What's best for this person? Not only mentally, because there is going to be the drop of not winning for the Canadiens, and physically, are they going to be able to? Certainly, their body clock and their timing they might be ahead of the game because the game was so fast over there. But I think emotionally and physically, they're going to be drained, and we'll have to monitor that.
Retro brought it up yesterday. I'll quickly ask you. We love where Montreal's at. It's probably the envy of the league. You're one of the youngest teams, if not the youngest team. You've got a prospect cupboard, just bursting at the seams. Do they have a goalie there that you trust yet? Or are you just say we got 3, one of these guys will turn into one of the guys?
I say personally stay the course because you've got 3. And if you look at the way they're tiered, I think Monty is 29. I think Dobish is 24 and Fowler's 20. You got one there. I actually think you got 3. Depends on what you believe in number 1s or number 2s, tandems, all of that. Monty hasn't had a great season. He played 61 games last year and was very solid for them. I like him as a goaltender. I don't see him as a standalone 1. So what happened is he was a standalone 1 last year, but not this year. I think what they need is healthy competition. I don't think you go, hey, put up my hand and we need Jordan Binnington. I don't think that's a scenario. The only team, if Jordan Binnington's on the move and a team that is a contender needs a goaltender, it's Carolina for me. Carolina has Freddie Anderson, which I love him, but he just can't stay healthy. Kochetkov is a wild card for me. I think he's a good goalie, but he's very wildly inconsistent. Carolina feels like, to me, a team that needs stability in that position. I don't know Binnington. We know what his NHL numbers look like, but he's going to be he would look a lot different in Carolina, the way that they play defensively than St. Louis right now. But coming back to it, I think Montreal, they have depth in every position, right from ground zero. We need a young D. Oh, well, Reinbacher's, we got this kid Reinbacher. Like, you know what I mean? And, that's Quinn, Lane Hudson and into.
When you've already got him littering your lineup.
You've got
Pickford kid. Yeah.
What I'm saying is if you're Montreal, don't get too, lack of better words, horny to try and you can bring people in just because you have the luxury of doing that. But I would say don't stand in the way of what they have there is a stepladder of three pretty good goaltenders. You're right, Pinder. I don't know who grabs the ball and runs it. I think Fowler might be the best out of all of them, but he's 20, 21. So he's got to grow and mature. But the same with that team. It's, do we believe Montreal's a playoff team? 100%. Are they a cup contender, or are they a team that's still growing and maybe 18 months from now, Demidov takes another step? We've seen Slavkovsky take another step. Caulfield is a bona fide scorer. Suzuki, we know what he is. To me, he's a Patrice Bergeron. Like, they've got some players there. Hudson's a stud. He's just getting better with age. I think now they just continue to add around the group and keep pushing as they get more mature.
We played a clip before you got on Dregs yesterday with CJ and the guys talking about Nazem Kadri, and it's gone from if Kadri was open to a deal to Kadri is open to a deal to Kadri wants to be traded. We're 8 days from the deadline. If you had to handicap it, we're talking Montreal. They're one of the teams that's kind of always brought up when
center
Kadri his name starts floating around. I guess just thoughts on if a deal's getting done here. Where does Kadri look? Where does Kadri look good to you?
Well, I think he looks good in a lot of scenarios. My question would be the four of us can discuss it. My question is, what is the cost of doing business? Now, keep in mind, I mentioned the word Father Time, and me and Rhett and this Brian Johnson guy and all of that. Father Time is chasing Nazem Kadri, right? And he's got this year and 3 more years, I believe, at 7. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think that deal is a home run coming back to Connie, right? I think the win is getting an asset or something, draft pick, all of that type of stuff. But if you don't retain salary, you've got $7 million to kind of retool and continue to push and maybe bring in that next wave to help this group. And I'm not saying he's a throwaway player. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a really good fit in the Montreals. I think there might be somebody out there that might want him as a veteran guy too. I don't know what Anaheim's depth chart looks like, but I think you're looking at a team that is trying to get to the next level. The Seattle's, Utah's, all of that, teams like that, right? That are trying to push through. Maybe he would be a good fit there. But what are they willing to give up? And are they willing to make it $7 million? Or are they going to ask the Flames to go, we need you to chew on 2 or 3? And that's another story then, because, if you're going to have to chew on some of that money, I'm not sure where they're at with salary retention and how much they have. But
last slot, they got 1 left.
Okay, so are you going to spend that on Nazem Kadri? And let's say they want him to become a $4 or $5 million centerman. You're asking the owners to spend $6 to $9 million to buy yourself a draft pick.
Yep.
So, again, it better be a good draft pick, or maybe there is a deal out there, or there is a bidding war that the team will go, the hell with it. We want him, and we'll take the 7. The 3+ years at 7. So those are the types of things I think about when it comes to Nazem. I think he'd be a terrific fit on 5 or 6 teams. I just read before I came on that Keith Pelly had sent in Toronto that the season ticket holders that they will do whatever it takes to win. So I don't know what that meant, if that was cryptic. But does that make tree in on a guy like Kadri to try and help that group, push along? I don't know. It's a weird dynamic, but I think reading Pierre LeBrun's tweet talking to all the people throughout the league, pretty much through this weekend, you might determine whether teams are buyers and sellers, which is a weird statement to go, hey, the next 3 games are going to factor in on what the hell we're going to do with our organization moving forward, which is really, really I mean,
What
fascinating.
happens when you don't play for 2 weeks, right? All
But
this
especially if-
magnitude jumps on these 3 games.
Yeah, and if you're one of those teams that we're going to evaluate, maybe you play two of the 3 teams are guys that are missing guys from the Olympics.
We
And they're
learned
tired.
here.
We picked up 3 straight. We're a contender now.
Well, what about Pittsburgh?
It's concerning. That is one thing that concerns me. Is it's tough. I've had a general manager say this to me, and I believe it wholeheartedly too. It's hard to evaluate your team in certain scenarios. One is if you have bad goaltending, because you can never, evaluate what you need because you're not getting the save that stabilizes everything, and you can watch players and how they interact or play in their scenario. So this is another scenario. I can't believe these teams are going, okay, we got plan A or plan B, and it factors on the next 72 hours of how they play. I mean, man, oh man, that's your organization's in the balance.
As far as Kadri, and we've kind of talked about it. We were talking about it before we brought you on. It was kind of Rhett's thing, and I think we're all kind of, and it sounds disrespectful in a way too, Naz, but it's just have him move on. You're getting an aging player making 7 off of your roster, even if you do have to eat some. It's less about what you're getting in return. It's just for so long, Nazem Kadri is untradeable. No team can take that money. No team's going to want him. He's too old. He's this. You're in a very small pocket where teams would take Nazem Kadri in a deal. They would overlook the age and the contract and all of that because of where it is right now and the desperation to win. Getting a deal done is less about the return, I think, to us as it is about getting Nazem Kadri on the move
and dropping in the standings and moving being worse this year.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that Craig Conroy and his management group can win on here. If they end up trading Nazem Kadri and whatever the deal is, like you just said, Boomer, you're getting out of the contract, you're getting out of the term, all of that type of stuff. Also, you're clearing a pathway for maybe some of the young players that you want to either give an opportunity to, or if you're going to try and sign somebody or trade for somebody with other players to slide in there. If you're retooling, then really the retool is a 34-year-old's out and maybe a 26-year-old or a 24-year-old goes into that slot and you give them an opportunity. So the win is, you're right, and you're not being disrespectful. It's more about what your organization needs at this moment. But Craig Conroy is, again, for me, proving to be a fantastic general manager because he's the deals that he's made have been crafty. The moves that he's made, he's methodically working. There's no knee jerk. I don't get the impression with any of the things that have happened over, we'll call the last year and a half in Craig Conroy's tenure, have been like, woke up and I got to do this today or all hell's going to break loose. It's methodical, the timing. Again, we can argue as to Jacob Markstrom's situation, but I think there were way more factors at play in that particular, situation and trade. But at the end of the day, whatever he's been able to do, it's worked out for the Calgary Flames and what his vision is. So I trust him. And it'll be interesting to see what the next 8 is. It 8? Are we 8? 8 days?
8 days. Yeah.
8 days.
Next Friday.
In the next 8 days, I would imagine Connie's going to have to sit there with his phone plugged in because it would be.
Wow. He took the last 2 weeks off. He was doing nothing.
Oh, yeah. That's the best part. You know what a manager said to me? He goes, this has been the worst time for them because they've had nothing but time to think and create deals and be their own worst enemy. Because what you're doing is you're sitting there at your desk going, okay, I could do this, I could do that, I could do that. And I'm talking to this manager. Like, to me, when you're playing, you have to adjust because this person's getting hurt. This guy's not playing well. There's no games. They're just sitting there, evaluating their roster and their organization and probably managing up too. Guaranteed the owners and boards of teams and all that are calling, going, what's the vision? What are we doing here? So I think they probably just want to drop the puck tonight and say, let's get back to playing hockey.
I'm sure I'll jump in. Sorry. Every year is probably going into the trade deadline. You forget, there's going to be so much action. It does feel very intriguing this year with the Olympics. Fiala getting hurt. Crosby's out for 4 weeks. Where are the Oilers?
Yeah.
And then you've got a Buffalo team that hasn't been in the playoffs forever. Like Ottawa's trying. Are we out? Like Jesus, Toronto's not in a playoff spot. Teams that you would have expected to be. Minnesota's going to have to play Dallas. Well, we can't go all in on Quinn Hughes and not.
Yeah.
Is it going to be busier than usual, or are we just excited about nothing?
I say it every year, and I'm going to say it again. I think all hell could break loose at this deadline, and I really do. And maybe I say that wishful thinking, and then I sit there on a desk for 8 hours at TSN. And
didn't you swear last year you'd never say that again, or was that Dreger? Because like,
and then it's
we've
like,
heard this
bit piece here, minor league trade here. And, and this deal might come with an extension, but, it looks like the deal's a bigger deal maybe that we're going to deal with in the offseason, because I was asked about Elias Pettersson yesterday. And I go, I think that's an offseason one. I don't think that's one that's going to happen the next 8 days. I think I look at the division, what Toronto Maple Leafs are going to do. If they decide to reshuffle or retool, I don't think they're going to have to be able to do it in the next 8 days. I think it's going to be an off-season, reassessment type of thing on some of their players and some of their legacy players. So for me, I still believe all hell's going to break loose, but I think it's going to be teams that go, we think we're good, but we need to be better. And then other teams have to identify, like, is LA, the Fiala that's a massive miss, but they just got Panarin.
Well, yeah, I know, but that
so you're taking Fiala out, but you got
but Panarin. You didn't get Panarin to come out equal in the deal. You got Panarin because you thought that's going, and with Fiala, like
I would say there's teams that should be proactive. If Edmonton wants to get out of the Pacific, they've got to be a better team. And if I think Vegas has been proactive, but I'd like to see what their finished product is. They always have something up their sleeve, right? They're just out of nowhere. It's like, oh, this player, well, Rasmus, goes there. That's their big trade.
Hurdle the other year. That was crazy. Like
Hurdle,
last minute of the death. What? They got Hurdle too?
I think they're
we forget that they got Carter Hart, who's been injured. And, I think they're trying to get him to be their number one eventually. I look at teams. Is Anaheim going to do something, or are they going to stay the course because they're
Dallas?
young? Dallas, I think Jim Nill has to be all in because he's got a hell of a team there. And he knows
Seguin's out, so he can.
It's a three-headed monster. Now, Rantanen, I think they were careful with their words, saying he'll definitely be back before the playoffs. They have the luxury. They're a playoff team. It's just seeding for them. Mm-hmm. So if guys went to the Olympics and need a break, they can give a break. Rantanen, they could probably extend his injury time if they need to. They're a good team. My question is, what are they doing with Jason Robertson? They've got all these teams have questions that need to be answered, including, we talk about it. Connie's got to answer some questions here because I guarantee you his phone's ringing on some of the assets that he has. But there's other teams that are good that have expiring contracts. They've got to decide, are they going to keep them as own rentals, or are they going to move away from them in the next 8 days because they can't get a team-friendly deal, or they just feel like they've got to cycle past the player. So that's coming too. Like I think that's why I think all hell could break loose. Like that trade yesterday, this Kyle Dubas got himself and listen, I think Colorado wanted a tree on the back end and not a shrub. Mm-hmm. Because you look at Kulak, who's a good skater and played, I think he's really good in the 5-hole, 5-6 hole, third pairing. They've got that Malinsky kid who's a really good skater and really skilled. He's just a right-handed Gerard for me. But they had two shrubs, and what they needed was a tree. So they went and got a tree. But, Dubas turning Tristan Jarry, into what did he get?
Skinner and Gerard in a couple seconds. Yeah.
And some pretty nifty work there to identify moving forward. Now he's missing Sid for a month, though. Like, what's Pittsburgh? They're in second place there. Like,
do you start selling, or are they too far in? Like, it's a tough spot with their schedule right now.
But I still think, coming back to the comment, if they've got unrestricted free agent like Stuart Skinner, are they going to spin him, or are they going to sign him to an extension?
Right.
Like, there's a again, is Carolina put up their hand and say, okay, well, we'd like Skinner, who's been to the finals 2 years in a row, or we would like Jordan Binnington, who's won a cup and been to the Four Nations. Like, there are teams that believe they're good that might put their hand up for somebody and might be willing to pay a pretty good price for those players. And Dubas can just sit there and continue to collect because he's got a boatload of picks apparently too.
But what do you owe Sid and Malkin? Like Brian brought up yesterday, we argued about LA, and we just talked about it too. Oh, Doughty's getting older.
Last year,
Kopitar's done. Do you owe it to this group to try and
I'll give you an example. I think Ken Holland got to LA and they brought him in to say, we need you to build a team to beat Edmonton. That's what he got older and slower, but he wanted to get heavier. And that's what he probably said like that, how we were able to beat LA, this, and this. But at the end of the day, LA hasn't had a great season. A lot of their top players haven't had their best season. I still think they're a good team, but I think they're a middle of the road team. Like I don't see them as a deep threat in the playoffs, considering the other teams that are around them. And what I mean, I'm talking Colorado. Minnesota. I think Minnesota might be the best of all of them. I really do. If the goalies hold up, because we forget how good Boldy is. We saw it in the Olympics.
I don't.
He's a stud, man.
Yeah.
And that Kaprizov's a stud. They've got 2 stud defensemen. Like that Faber's a hell of a player.
Oh yeah.
I look at that team as good as anybody.
And you mentioned it, and I think they can add, which makes them even better. But the goaltending, which is always where everything begins and ends.
Yeah.
There's talk that they're thinking about trading one of those guys. Can they do it? Do you have enough faith in one, or is it better? You know what I mean? Like
Wallsted's so young.
I would not be trading one of those guys.
I think it depends on what you get back. If you're going to trade one of them for a veteran goaltender that maybe has, been there before or something like that. Again, maybe if you traded player X, one of those goaltenders for a Skinner who's been there before, and you want him to help out. I'm not saying you do it. What I'm saying is, if you're bringing in somebody who's older, like that's, 28, 27, 28 and older and has experience. If you're worried about that position not having enough experience, you've got to look around the league and find a goaltender that either has little to no term and would be willing to go into that scenario. I don't think Minnesota does anything with their goaltending.
Yeah, I hope they
do it under center.
You brought it up to me. I
thought I heard that.
Well, Wallstead apparently was not an untouchable, and I think the only reason you do that is if you really believe in the depth they have in the system, not to bring another goalie. You say Gustafsson's our one, stock's really high on the kid. He's got a bunch of shutouts. Move him out, plug your center, call up the guy in the A that was great for Slovakia.
Yeah, again, but you've got zero experience in that position, which is fine. I mean, you go in. The one thing I think we all should learn about what this Olympics taught us, young players aren't overwhelmed. Now, Celebrini's a generation.
That's what I was going to ask you. Sorry, I think you're answering it, but you talk about experience and you're the goaltending. Like, Patrick Waugh comes in.
Yeah.
There's no experience. Like, Kipper comes in, no experience. There are a lot of instances where the experience thing isn't a big deal. So I guess my question is: experience a big deal? Can't hurt, but
it's only a big deal until it's not. And I know that's a cop out to say, but you see guys all the time come up and get an opportunity, and the first 10 games they're playing on adrenaline. It's just like this Wallstead had what 4 shutouts in his first 6 games, and you're just like, hey, the league's real easy, and then people start to figure out like, oh, okay, we can score on this guy. So I think the one thing I learned from the Olympics is, Celebrini was not intimidated by the stage. A lot of young players now are not overwhelmed by the moment. So if I'm a manager, to your point, and just even what we're talking about Minnesota, Wallstead playing in the playoffs, so be it. He doesn't know better. We won't know how he reacts in a conference final until we see him in there. That's the thing. Do we know how Bobrovsky plays? Do we know how, now we've seen Skinner, we've seen some guys in the last couple of years. Darcy Kemper won a cup. I don't think experience. I think experience matters only when the situation calls for it, and somebody could be overwhelmed by it.
We got to let you go.
Yeah,
But you mentioned Bobrovsky. I think Florida's cooked. I don't think they're climbing out of the hole. I don't think they're making the playoffs. And then there's the chatter about he needs another contract after next year.
It's up to summer, isn't he?
If Zito wanted, is he able to trade him? And what's the price to bring him in? Because Jesus Christ, Edmonton would.
Bobrovsky, honest to God, like there would be a lineup for him.
$10 million is the problem.
What's that?
$10 million. Even if you half it's $5. The Oilers can't fit a $5 million goalie in right now.
No, I think Edmonton's not looking for a goalie. They just need.
I just said Edmonton cuts.
Better. They need them to play better. But I look at it. The only team that I think is a cup contender that would have a question mark in net for me is Carolina. Is there anybody else that you could think off the top?
So you don't think Edmonton's a cup contender? That's what I heard.
Wait.
No, I think their goaltender is good enough.
Has it been?
What, in the last 2 weeks?
Don't talk Edmonton with Ryan.
I didn't think Jari was that good.
Just don't
like Jari.
I think Jari is better than Stuart Skinner.
Okay.
I've said that before, and I think Ingram could be better than all three of them.
Yes, but
like the skill set.
I'm not calling you out on this, but you're saying at this point, does anyone need? I'm saying if Bobrovsky goes to somewhere, does that not immediately make them a cup contender?
But what I'm looking at it as Edmonton's made their play in net.
I'm not Edmonton.
I'm saying like any team, unless Ottawa, I'm sure just based on Linus Ullmark's, what's been going on personally with him, and they're paying him 8.25. Yes, but is Ottawa close enough? They're 6 points out. They're at about 15% right now too to make the playoffs. Unfortunately, because of the division they play in. Like, it's different. The Pacific is a weak division from a point standpoint. You look at the Atlantic, it's murderer's row. Like, the Florida's at the bottom, 61 points. Like, in Buffalo, all these teams, like they all believe they're a playoff team. And, Tampa's the best team out of all of them. I look at it, Montreal's there, Detroit's there, Florida's there, the Leafs are there. All these teams, all 7 teams believe that they should be a playoff team. There's going to be 4 spots, depending on what happens in the Metro. It just, at the end of the day, if Bobrovsky moves, the only one that would make sense for me would be Carolina, because that's a legitimate cup contender that has had uncertainty in net. Regardless of what I think or what you guys think of Edmonton's situation, they've made their move. They've got to lay in their bed. So what I'm saying is the cup contenders that haven't made the moves in net would be one for me, unless I'm missing somebody. I kind of just getting back into thinking about goaltending and that outside of Hellebuck. What is there a team out there that you would believe that feels that they should be, regardless of whether they are or not, that is a cup contender that would want a goaltender?
I think Bobrovsky to Edmonton would make a ton of sense for Edmonton. And I think Jari going the other way to Florida doesn't matter because they could just take him and they're moving on. They
have to make the money work for sure. Listen, Bobrovsky would be an upgrade on a lot of goaltenders that would believe the teams would go to Colorado. I love Blackwood, but I would take Bobrovsky over him because Bobrovsky's a top tier goaltender. Again, I'm not. You could actually line up all those cup contending teams. Bobrovsky would probably be better than their goaltenders outside of Vasilevsky.
Back to Columbus.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Columbus said, does Columbus want to? Could they not want the break? I mean, that team had won 7 in a row, hadn't they?
Yeah. Buffalo, Columbus. I worry that that's
Jet Reeves. That might be the next Olympic goaltender. 24-year-old Canadian kid.
A good young Canadian goalie. Whew. Unicorn.
There's 2 of them. Joel Hofer as well. I like him.
I'll see you at Caesars next week. Don't pretend you're busy. Don't give me another BS. I'm eating 18 buckets of cheese toast.
Listen, all 3 of the 3 of you, Jack can be invited as well. We'll see. You guys decide if you want Jack.
He's on probation right now after last week.
We'll talk about it, but yes, let's try and plan a little get to hello at Caesars.
Beautiful.
Love you, Noodles.
Appreciate you.
See
Thanks,
ya.
guys.
Hey, buddies. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Also, if you could throw in a like and subscribe, it does help us out with what it is we are doing. And check out more at flamesnation.ca.